Okay, so I'm going to share my screen first and give you a background information about Google Earth. So first, what is Google Earth? Google Earth is a platform that enables the user to go around the world and lets the users visualize places in our planet by using recent satellite images. The images that were obtained were from satellites and aircrafts. So how can it be downloaded? And most importantly, is it free? It can be downloaded on web or mobile devices or tablets. So for mobile devices and tablets, we can use the App Store and download it there. On Android, we can see it in Play Store and download it. We can also use the web by going to www.google.com/earth. Is it free? So as you can see, those that are checked are free, but Google Earth Pro on desktop is not free. So I recommend to use the Google Earth on web and Google Earth on mobile. I hope it's clear so far. So for the web, we'll just search it on the internet. And for the mobile devices and the tablets, we need to download it on App Store if it's in Apple, and in Play Store if it's an Android device. So the differences, for the browser version, it is more limited, but on the downloaded app on the cell phones and tablets, iPads, you can do things like go back in time and see historical imaging of the Earth. But as far as back as Google has images for, let's be realistic, not I think we don't have images on 1300, something like that. Like as far as back as Google has images for. While on the mobile app, it is much easier to navigate because you can just swipe the globe using your fingers. So I will show you later. So if you pinch like this, it will zoom in. And if you do this, it will zoom out. I'll show you that later. So what would I use this for? It can be for casual browsing or exploring famous places and tourist attractions. It can also be to appreciate the beauty of our Earth, to learn something new, or use it for presentations like this. So why Google Earth instead of Google Maps? Google Earth can show us a much more complex view of the world. You can see different places in 3D and you will be able to exactly visualize what they look like. You'll be able to explore and see places you've never been. Unlike Google Maps, or in contrast, Google Maps is usually used by people who needs to see where they are or how they would go to a certain location, or if they're lost, how long would it take to go to a specific location. In short, it is for a day-to-day use. So before we start the live demo, I just want to show you the buttons on Google Earth. So here we can see the search button, the Voyager button, the I'm feeling lucky button, projects, map style, measure. But these buttons right here are the most used buttons. So this one, if you press this, it will go to your location and you will see, for example, your house. And then this person right here will show you the street view. And then this is for 3D because some of the images are 2D. And this is the compass. We can use this plus button to zoom in and this minus button to zoom out. Okay, so I'm going to show you the web browser. So this is the Google Earth. We can just search Google Earth and it will show. So if we'll search Google Earth, so we'll just press this Earth versions and then we'll press Google Earth on web because we're on web. So launch Earth. Yeah, so it's loading. There, so if like, for example, we want to go to Japan. So we'll press Japan and it will take us to Japan. As we can see. Okay, so we'll press this search button again. And then as we can see, there are games and quizzes, data layers, and guided tours. I prefer the guided tours, so I'll press it here. And for example, we want to see the onsens of Japan. Onsens are hot springs. So we'll press tour of the onsens of Japan. So here are the onsens of Japan. If I scroll here, we can see the different onsens. So we'll start from the top, the Jinata Hot Spring. So there are details here about the Jinata Hot Spring, and then it will take us to Jinata Hot Spring. So here is the Jinata Hot Spring. It is found on the island of Shikenijima Jinata Onsen. It's a hot spring that sits in a rocky valley at the water's edge. It can only be entered 1 or 2 times a day when the tide comes in and cools the water to a comfortable temperature. So we can scroll around here. So by scrolling, we can just click and then don't release and then swipe. So click, don't release, and then swipe. So if we were gonna go here, we'll go like this. Click, don't release, and then swipe. And then if we can see arrows, can you see this? This arrow, we can click it so that will be nearer. So it feels like we're walking on the stairs. So click here. We can also see the top. So click, don't release, and then scroll or swipe. Click, don't release, and then swipe. So we can see it. So for example, the next one is a Shitsuke hot spring. So we'll just click again and then swipe. Click, swipe. So if we want to go there, we'll just press the arrow button. So press the arrow button or just double click. Double click. And if you double click and it doesn't show something, that means that the image stops there. So we can see a lot of boats. I guess it's near the sea. So the hot spring is near the sea. So next hot spring. So it has details. So if you want to know something about that place, it has details on the side. So Kawayu Onsen is located on the Oto River in Wakayama Prefecture. Visitors can create their own mini hot springs by digging into the riverbed. So they can dig their own mini hot springs, but if it's winter, the river is dammed and filled with hot water to become one giant bath, which can accommodate large groups of people at once. So we can scroll around. I guess we can also use the arrow keys on your keyboard. We can also use it. So I'm using the arrow keys. Press it and take a look around. So it's like that. Niagara Falls, okay. So we'll go to Niagara Falls. So we'll just click the place, Niagara Falls, Ontario. So we'll just click this one again, and then the guided tours. So we'll press Horseshoe Falls, for example. And there. And we'll also press this one so that we'll be able to see the street view. Can you see the circles and then these blue things? If you press this one, you'll be able to see much clearly. So there. Oh, there are people here. So if we just want to go back, we'll press this exit street view. There, we can view it from the top. We'll just scroll. We'll try Hawaii now. Hawaii. Hawaii, USA. Make sure that it's not Hawaiian restaurant or something. It's Hawaii, USA. Okay, and then we'll go to Hawaii. There, and then we'll just, if we want to zoom in, we need to do this. Okay, so zoom in or just press the plus button. But it's much easier to like do this. So we'll press again this little person here so that we'll be able to see which one has like satellite images. So we'll press here. There, and then we'll be able to walk around. There. Okay, so now we're going to Voyager. My favorite here are games and nature. So for games, like for example, we'll answer the archaeological sites. So the question number 1 is, the 1922 discovery of which pharaoh's tomb sparked a worldwide obsession with its treasures? A. Ramses the second, B. Tutankhamen, C. Ramses the sixth. Okay, B. So we'll press B. So it's right. Can you see it? Or it's like his burial site. Or okay, so for the next question, we'll have newspaper Rock State Historic Monument has one of the largest examples of what kind of ancient carving? A. Petroglyphs, B. Pictographs, or C. Hieroglyphics. Okay, we'll press A. Yeah, so it's correct. So it will show us petroglyphs. Petroglyphs here scraped into the dark coating on the sandstone are carved rather than painted like pictographs. So we can look around by pressing and then don't release and then swipe. Yeah, so it's pretty, right? It's like from ancient civilization. You can also look at the top. So we're going back to we'll try the nature. So for the nature, we'll try this one, the warming planet. So it will show you the time lapse like from 1985 to 2020. Like the changes. Isn't that cool? Okay, so it will go back to 1985. Yeah, can you see it? The glaciers are like melting from 2000 to 2020 until it doesn't have any anymore at the middle. So that's the Columbia Glacier. That's sad. So for the next one, the melting ice in Greenland. You can also see a time lapse. This button right here, it's the I'm feeling lucky. It will show you random places. Like, okay, so it's national capital in Colombia. Okay, and then we can zoom it. Yeah, something like that. So I also want to show you how to use the one where you would use the tablet. So I'm going to screen share that and stop sharing this one. There, it's showing, right? So I'll press Google Earth. I'll show you how it's easier. So for example, we'll search um Hawaii, USA. As you can see, I can just can you see me on the camera? I can just do this and then it will zoom in. So do this, then it will zoom in. Yeah. And for example, we want to go to we want to zoom out. We'll just do this. Do this. There. And then if we want to like see the street view, we'll just press this button again, this one, like the person, and then the blue ones are the ones where they have the satellite pictures where they can show us the street. So maybe we'll just press Powako. So it will take us there. Yeah, beautiful. Now we can see it. Oh, I will show you. It's much easier here because if we like swipe it, just like this, swipe it. It's really easier, right? Unlike on the laptop or on the web, you need to like press and hold and then swipe. Here we can just do this. And also on iPad, I think it shows that what date they were taken if they're recent. So for example, here in Hawaii, can you see the imagery date here? 2019 06/17. So I guess I'm finished. That's my presentation for today.